Former President Jimmy Carter is focusing on his faith as he undergoes treatment for stage 4 melanoma. For the 689th time, the 90-year-old taught Sunday school at his church in Georgia this morning, just as he has done for the past 20 years. And as our Nick Valencia reports, his appearance attracted an overflow crowd. Hi, Nick.
Poppy, a momentous day for those who came from far and wide to Plains, Georgia to hear Jimmy Carter teach Sunday school, something that has become sort of a cornerstone here in this community. The 689th time that President Carter has done so, according to his grandson. But this is the first time that he's addressed the congregation here in Plains, Georgia, since he publicly announced that he had cancer. The 90-year-old spoke for about an hour, very spry, joking at times with the crowd. It was quite impressive to see just how healthy he looked for a man who was just recently diagnosed with cancer. He asked the crowd where they were visiting from, a crowd here, a congregation that on average usually is about 40 people. Today that crowd swelled to well over 400 people. He also talked about, despite his cancer diagnosis, that he plans to stay committed to his very busy schedule.
It was found that I had cancer, and so they removed part of my liver, and I think they got all the cancer from my liver. But then we had another MRI, and it showed up that I have 4 places in my brain. And so this Thursday, they treated that with radiation, and I'm taking some additional medicine to stimulate my autoimmune system to fight against the cancer. And I intend to keep on teaching here at Maranatha as long as I'm able. And I'm going to cut back a good bit. This gives me a good excuse to finally do it. I work at the Carter Center. We've been working, Rose and I have full time, despite our advanced age. And I think a lot of people are waiting for me to kind of step down to give them a new chance. So this will be a good opportunity for that.
His message at the Sunday school was one about love. He called it the backbone of Christianity. He also talked about overcoming challenges and seeing opportunity to resolve conflicts. Those that did show up here in Plains, Georgia, on the drive-in, there was these signs posted everywhere. Jimmy Carter for cancer survivor. And those that we spoke to, those that showed up here, not just from this community, but also from far and wide, said that they wanted to show the former president their support during this very difficult time, though it seems that he was very well aware of just how loved he is. Poppy?
Nick, thank you very much for that. It's extraordinary how he's been coping with this. Let's talk more about it. Joining me on the phone, CNN senior political analyst and former White House advisor to 4 presidents, David Gergen. David, he is 90 years old, stage 4 melanoma on his brain, and yet he is laughing, he is smiling, he is cracking jokes. What do you make of this?
Well, it's extraordinary, Poppy. The country today has a great deal of affection and respect for Jimmy Carter because he has had, I think, the most consequential post-presidential period of any of our presidents. He's had a longer period of time as post-president, but he's used it in such a way as to, to advance humankind, human rights all around the world, especially in Africa. And for his tireless work, the country's now become very fond of him, and I think there's a lot of respect for the way he's going through this. He's showing us all how he's showing a courage that I think is inspiring.
On the day, David, that he announced that he had cancer earlier this week, he also reflected on his life and whether he has any regrets. Listen to what he said.
I wish I had sent one more helicopter to get the hostages, and we would have rescued them, and I would have been reelected. But that may have. And that may have interfered with the foundation of the Carter Center. And if I had to choose between 4 more years and the Carter Center, I think I would choose the Carter Center.
How common is it to hear a former president make such just such an acknowledgement like that?
No, it's very, very unusual. He has said in the past that the rescue effort for Americans who are being held hostage in Tehran, that when that rescue effort was in the spring of his 4th year, first term, and it was botched, and he had to call it off. And he said for a long time that that's what cost him a second term. He lost out to Ronald Reagan, of course, in 1980 when he ran for re-election. I'm not sure. The botched rescue effort did play into a narrative at that time that he was ineffectual as president. That he was a very, very good man, but he was having a hard time governing. But I'm not sure that was the full story. The economy was also in a tailspin there. If you looked at the combined inflation rate and unemployment rate in the country in that 1980, the year he ran for re-election, it went over 20. That's extraordinarily high. So that cost him. But I think what has struck many, it certainly struck me, Poppy, was that he will never be judged one of our great presidents, but he will be judged one of our great saints. And I think his post-presidential years have fit that and allowed him to contribute in a way that's made him much happier. As he said, if he had to choose between being reelected for 4 years or creating the Carter Center, he would have chosen the Carter Center. What an extraordinary statement.
Yeah, absolutely. What an extraordinary statement. Nick Kristof wrote this fascinating piece recently in the Times saying that we all owe him an apology, including the media, that we sort of, didn't see all the value he has provided for this country. Interesting. And you see it reflected in how he's dealing with adversity right now. David Gergen, thank you.